Hello, it is me again. Not having a good hair day, but that is fine. I am running on straight intuition today because I saw a clip the other day from TikTok. It was about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I saw this clip and it gave me such an aha moment. I was like, I don't know what we need to say, but I need to talk about this with my people. Also, I feel like I say this at the beginning of every live, but there, there are men replacing our garage doors here today, and there is some very loud drilling. I am on the noisy side of the house. But you know what? We're just going to roll with it. This is real life. There's noise. Everybody's home. I live at home. Everyone's here. There's going to be banging and walking and background noise. And next week, when my little baby nephew comes to visit, there's probably going to be screaming in the background. It's what it is. But let's talk about this clip that I saw. Maybe it was like a week or two ago. And I was like, oh my goodness, I had such an epiphany moment seeing that clip. And it was a clip of Erica. I don't know if you guys watch The Real Housewives. Hello, anyone who does, let me know. But the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast, the women who were in it, I think it was Erica, and then there was also a new housewife called Amanda. And I haven't watched this new season, to be honest. I feel like when I watch that show, my frequency just drops so much that I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to watch. I don't want to be in that space too much. But there was this short clip on TikTok, and they were at each other's necks as usual. And then the new housewife asks, can we not have disagreement without the conflict? Essentially, they were all fighting at this dinner table. And then the new housewife is like, can't we just disagree with each other without having all of this conflict with each other, without essentially having to be so rude and be so catty with each other? And can't we just chat it out? Can't we be more neutral about it? And then Erica, one of the housewives who's been there for a really long time, was like, no, we can't. This is how things are done here. This is what it is. And in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, the pieces just came together. Because these women are such a prime example of having all of the worldly success, right? They have the beautiful material things, right? Beautiful handbags, jewelry, clothing, houses. They're physically beautiful as well. But look at the quality of their relationships. Look at the quality of their marriages. And I don't know if you're anything like me, you want it all. You want it all. Yes, you want to experience the beautiful abundance in the material and physical world, but you also want to experience abundance in your own internal world and in your relationships. So, why was that such an aha moment for me? I realized that you can have everything in life, but the quality of what you have directly correlates with the vibrational frequency that you inhabit most of the time. So, Erica, for example, can say, yeah, I have friends. I have friends. And I can say, I have friends. But what friendship looks like to her, it means something completely different. to what friendship would mean to me. Because at this frequency, friendship can look like, yeah, we hang out and I guess we run in the same circles and we put up with each other and sometimes we get mad at each other and we're going to argue and be catty and probably bitch about each other to our other friends, and that's just life. That's just what friends are. I don't accept that. I demand more from myself. And I can say this because I've been here before. I've been a participant in that kind of dynamic before. I've experienced that kind of dynamic before. But I don't accept that from myself and the people I call into my world moving forward. When you inhabit a different frequency, and this standard is most clearly reflected in my friendship with my bestie, Anastasia. Genuinely, we don't have conflict. Why? Not because we never disagree with each other, but because we are operating at a frequency where we genuinely are curious about what the other person desires, and we genuinely want to know what's going to make the other person feel safe and seen and heard and happy and content. And the vibration of the relationship is not one of competition, where it's like, well, I want this. Well, I want this. And that doesn't match. So how are we going to compromise to give each other what we want? No. The vibration that we inhabit, we hear what the other person wants, for example. And maybe I'm saying one thing and maybe she's saying another thing. And then we're like, oh, interesting. Okay. We're feeling different things, but it is okay. And there is room for us to feel both ways. And I'm so curious about how you're feeling. Tell me more about that. And you're so curious about how I'm feeling. And I'll tell you more about that. And there is a safe, non-judgmental space, and not a space of, I expect you to think and act and behave as I wish. Otherwise, we have a problem. No. We respect that we are both two autonomous individuals, and we can have our own minds, have our own opinions, but at the crux of the relationship, there is a heart of collaboration, where if we were really to disagree, right? I can think of one time this happened where we were like really on different wavelengths, and we thought, okay, what are we going to do to come to a resolution? And it wasn't, oh my gosh, well, you've got to compromise this and you've got to compromise that. It was, okay, let's let it go. Let's just let it be for right now. We don't have to come to a resolution. Let's pray on it. Let's surrender. Let's just let it be. And I'm sure the answer is going to come to us. That sort of friendship is a completely different vibrational frequency to the one that you see exhibited in shows like The Real Housewives. And of course, I know it's a TV show. Maybe they're just dramatizing these friendship conflicts. for the sake of reality TV, but it's a good example nonetheless. The vibrational frequency that you inhabit is the determinant of the quality of everything that you call into your life. Regardless of whether it's relationships or whether it's worldly success or whether it's the quality of your marriage, right? Your character and who you are determines the quality of what you have. What Erica defines as friendship and what she would call a friend is not what I would call a friend. And you get to determine what frequency you inhabit. Everybody has free will. Some people walk through life maybe being in marriages where they resent each other and where they just harbor all of these ill feelings towards each other and where they, kind of semi-hate each other. Like you can see that dynamic when it's happening. And they probably are constantly nagging at each other and don't really like each other. But in their mind, they have the story of, yeah, that's just what marriage is. You're meant to kind of hate your partner. Some people are okay with that. They can live with that. That's the story that they've known, and that's the story that they're willing to continue living. But what is the story that you want to live? I certainly don't accept that in my life. And I freaking thank God every day for giving me my 20s to shape my character. Because to be the kind of person who can hold space for a truly loving, nourishing, safe, non-judgmental, mutually supportive relationship, you have to have the emotional skills and the character to be able to sustain that kind of relationship. And I know for sure, oh my goodness, if I had got married when I was 24, right? Number one, the kind of person I would have chosen is just so different to what I would choose now. Because I didn't know who I was then. And I didn't have the skills that I had. I didn't have the skills that I have now. That's what I was trying to say. So the depth of relationship that I have the capacity to carry now is on a whole different level to what it was when I was younger. And that's not to say that we don't continue growing and evolving as we get older. For sure we do, for sure. But especially, at least for me in my 20s, I know that that growth was so exponential. I needed that time. And it's going to settle a bit. I can already feel it as I head into my 30s. And whatever your journey is good and is fine. Maybe for you in your 20s, it was more stagnant. And maybe in your 30s and 40s, you're having this whole spiritual awakening or something. Wherever you are on your journey is fine. And if you feel called to be in this room You're meant to be here. Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. I just see it's a Ferns World missing you on my feed. Oh, thank you for being here. I'm definitely really loving doing these lives more lately. Oh, thank you so much. Navela says, hi, love your content. I don't know. There is just something different about doing these lives compared to doing those short, snippy reels that I was doing before. And something I really love about these lives is that there is a barrier to entry. And the barrier to entry is an attention span. And I feel the people, those of you who are willing to sit with me for however long, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, that willingness and intention to do that already differentiates you from the masses. And that's what I'm more interested in now. Not in being seen by the masses, but in creating more depth to the impact that I have. And I know that if you join me on these lives, you can feel the difference in the energy of being intentional and sitting here and spending time with me on this live compared to scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for those dopamine hits. Have I ever gotten called black cat energy? Definitely, definitely. I actually want to chill out on that because I feel like I lean too heavily into that energy naturally. And I want to lean more into golden retriever energy, you know? I feel like inside I'm a golden retriever, but on the outside it's the black cat. Like in here I'm like, "Roar." But then naturally my face is like so yeah, I'm working on bringing out more of that inner golden retriever. But I really wanted to spend today's live hitting home for you the message that it's really not about having the things. Because when you look at these women, they have all the things that society would call success. Like we said before, all of the beautiful material things, the homes, the jewelry, bags, clothes, beauty, all of it, and the so-called friends. But when you look at the quality of all of their relationships, I think all of them on the Beverly Hills cast this season, except for like one, is divorced, I think. And not that there is something inherently wrong with divorce, but when you look at how these divorces are happening, it's all getting really ugly. And I would hope that if that situation were to ever happen to me, where whoever I chose to partner up with, let's say, for example, we've reached a point where we were truly not growing on the same path anymore, I would hope that we could part ways, having enough respect and love for each other that we could do it in a way where it doesn't get ugly. Because the truth is, sometimes you do meet people at a certain stage of your life, and there is no 100% guarantee that over the next few decades that you are going to grow in the same direction. Of course, you hope for that and you pray for that. That's the fairy tale, the dream, right? But at the same time, sometimes there's a different plan for you. But the way that these things happen, the way that relationships occur into your life, and the way that relationships end in your life is all a reflection of your character and the vibrational frequency that you inhabit. So, who do you choose to be? Oh my goodness. So many of you are here today. It's not my face, it's the energy. Oh. They have the luxury of making fast decisions. That is true. Obviously, having resources gives you the ability to make certain decisions, but the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your relationships. That's always going to be the number one foundation. That comes before everything. That comes before all of the material things. Number one is your relationship with yourself and the greater source. Number two, your relationship with the people in your innermost circle. And then the people on the periphery. Yes. And then, the things that you have, the material things and things that bring joy and abundance into your life. But they're not the foundation. I think that's all I want to share today. All right. Well, I went into today's live being like, I have no idea where this is going to go. We're just going to run on intuition and see. Anything else? Yoo-hoo! That's me chatting to the universe every single day. I'm like, yes, tell me, downloads, anything you want me to be a vessel for. I was speaking with a woman the other day, and she was telling me how she had recently separated. Or it wasn't that recent, it was maybe like a couple years ago. And she was just telling me, always just take your time, right? Look after yourself, trust your intuition. And it was such a beautiful conversation because at the end of it, we both came to the conclusion of, everything is meant to be. And she said, I was meant to go through everything that I went through, have my beautiful children, and come out of that marriage having learned the lessons that I learned. And she was glowing. And so I want to honor the fact that that can be people's story as well. That could be someone's path as well. And when I say that the quality of your relationships is determined by your character and the vibrational frequency that you're inhabiting, I don't want you to mistake that as meaning all of your relationships are meant to be so deep and be lifelong, right? Some relationships in our life, the better you get at discerning who is aligned in with your values, the better you'll be able to see the ceiling of each individual relationship. Because different relationships are going to have different ceilings that they can reach. And that's okay. It's okay to have some friends who are, hey, how are you? What'd you get up to on the weekend, friends? And when I talk about my friendship with Astasia, it's not it's not that every single friendship you have is supposed to be like that, right? We have that because we have such strong alignment in our core values and in how we walk through the world. So that is why we can reach that level of depth with each other. Number one is the vibrational frequency that we're both inhabiting. Number two, the capacity that we both have to go to that level of depth and safety holding for each other. And number three is because of that just rock solid values alignment. And you're not going to have that with everyone in your life, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's not a quality connection. But when you inhabit that frequency, you can appreciate each connection for what it is and the depth that it can reach, instead of seeing those connections as like, oh yeah, that person doesn't do this, so like she's not a good friend. It's a different energy. And just like some relationships are not going to be lifelong, it doesn't mean that it wasn't a quality connection for the phase in your life that it existed. So when you inhabit a different vibrational frequency, it's not that every single relationship in your life is going to be like crazy deep, or that all of your relationships in your life are going to last forever. It's how you exist and feel in those relationships as they are happening. And if they close, who are you being in the closure of those relationships? Are you being catty? Are you being resentful? Are you being, and by the way, we can all be in this vibrational state sometimes, and that's okay. But I'm talking about the majority of the time. Where are you? Because the dominant frequency is going to determine the quality of what you call into your life. Okay? Fern says it's hard staying on a high flying disc for me lately. I so hear you. And really, the key is to not shame yourself when you feel that you're on that negative frequency. To allow yourself to be there, but also to recognize where you're wanting to go. And saying, you know what, it's okay. It's okay that I'm feeling like crap right now. That's an indicator that I need to look after myself, that I need to dedicate more time to myself, more time to stillness and to meditation and to prayer, more time to reconnect with my body and to slow down. That's all that negativity is a sign for. It's not a sign of you being a failure. And you having the intention of reaching for a different space, a different frequency, is already a reflection of your character. Because I'm going to throw Erica under the bus. Yeah. But she clearly doesn't have that intention. And to her, yeah, this is friendship. Being catty is friendship. Being, you're gonna bitch about each other, right? Behind each other's backs. And if I'm pissed at you, I'm not gonna tell you what's like got me pissed, because that's just what friends are. Sometimes you're gonna hate each other. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Well, you guys are asking me the questions today. What is my horoscope? I'm a Pisces. So my big three, I'm a Pisces sun, Taurus moon, Pisces rising. I've got a lot of Pisces in my chart. I'm also a Pisces Venus, and I think a Pisces Mercury. And I am an INFJ personality. You guys are cute. A lot of heavy stuff happening in your life lately, but you're trying to stay positive. How do you find your way back to your higher self? I was in that headspace, I would say, maybe about a month or two ago, where everything felt really just heavy. And I was like, I don't know why I'm in this funk. And I mean, I am like meditating and I am like trying to look after myself and whatnot, but I was just in a heavy mental space. And I found for me that everything really, really changes when I come back to the body. So instead of trying to think my way to a more positive thought or trying to meditate my way to a more positive thought, I started intentionally making time to release tension from my body every day. The somatic stuff, I'm telling you, is life-changing. So I would every morning I started implementing qigong. And I actually posted a reel about this like a few videos back. 10 minutes of that I do every morning to release the tension from the body. If you're more of a yoga person, you can do yin yoga. That's really amazing for fascia release. I've also started to implement, the like fascia release facial massages in the evening as a way to wind down. I did it last night, and I'm telling you the difference in how I felt today. Like just so much release in tension. That in itself changes your state of mind without you having to try and change your state of mind. Does that make sense? So instead of thinking, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this? Come back to your body. Do some yin yoga. Do some qigong. Give yourself a massage, right? And release that tension from your body. And when you do that consistently, you're going to notice the change in your energy, the change in your headspace, and the change in how you walk through this life, how you carry yourself, and how you handle all the situations that come your way. Thank you all for joining today. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm gonna catch you in the next live. Have an amazing day. Mwah.